Hey guys, happy Monday. I am feeling so much better. So thank you so much for those of you that sent well wishes, whether you sent them directly or in spirit and like whatever. I really, really appreciate it. As you can see, I'm doing so much better. Still definitely my asthma still a little triggered, but I'm doing better. So I'm so grateful. You guys know we're going to be talking about Z&T and these long distance relationships. Can they work, guys? So if you have not already, make sure you head over to zetaconfidential.com so you can be a part of the ZC Nation family. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you can be a part of the topics as we break it down every week. And I'm so excited finally to have some more stuff coming. So be on the lookout for that coming real soon. Make sure you hit that button, okay, guys? So before we even get into the topic at hand, I want to say this because I've seen so much negativity. Y'all know I really like to walk in positivity, but it's so disappointing because there's been so much speculation. As we're talking about relationships and can it work in this, there's been so much speculation about Zeta and Timmy. Are they together? Or whether, well, this is why, because she not here and this and that, or he this and that, he needs this. Look, first of all, these are people. Now, granted, I will say when you're in the public eye, people will speculate, and especially when you've gone on a show where people feel vested and they feel like they own a piece of your relationship. I get it. But what I will say, and when I say this, is that as much energy as you put into that, there was also energy that we put into, like, because so many of us voted these people, because we like them. So in liking them, or celebrate the wins. Put as much energy into that as you do the wins and successes. Our girl went to the British Fashion Awards. She was put on multiple magazines. Timmy is doing his YouTube things. He's doing, which I've actually signed up for his training program. I was waiting for after the holidays. But, I mean, like, you know, they're doing it. So celebrate that. Talk about that. We have to, and just as people, and this goes well beyond even just this couple, we have to put as much energy into positivity and celebrating the wins instead of always looking for some mess, you know. That I digress. And I mean, so whether you know, speak up for somebody when you see it, and we can speak in love. It does not have to be combative or disrespectful, because sometimes we have to check ourselves because it's so easy to fall into the trap and gossip or mess. But, you know, check yourself, check the next person. But just, I did not see nearly as many things as I felt like I should have when I saw, you know, the articles coming out or the wins. Like, but I saw so much stuff about the speculation of, oh, well, you know, like if somebody's Instagram picture wasn't liked, or if it wasn't liked in 5 minutes or 5 seconds, or why didn't he do this or why didn't she do that? Celebrate the wins, guys. But let's break down, can these long distance relationships work? Well, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, but I'm going to tell you my piece on what I think, because I definitely think they can. And this goes like any relationship. Of course, it is more challenging when there's distance put in the middle. But with any relationship, it has to be built in love, honesty, so the trust, communication, effective communication. Because sometimes people can just be running their mouth and not saying nothing. So when you're talking, to make sure that that the person is understanding what you're saying, so all expectations on both sides are understood. And I think if you can effectively do that, then you're setting yourself up for success. And one of the biggest things that I thought from the takeaway on the blog was, which I thought was so special, was for Timmy, when she talks about Timmy and modification. And this isn't in a relationship, whether it be long distance or not, if someone loves you so much, then I think that, and it doesn't mean you change who you are, but be willing to modify. I love you enough to modify the situation. And if there will be times where, you know, maybe it can't be modified or you don't want to, and that's when, you know, at some point you walk away. But when somebody loves you enough, they're willing to modify some things. And I think obviously if somebody's willing, then that goes both ways. And I think if you have that and understanding and not being stagnant and willing to grow together, then it's going to be successful every single time. And I know some people worry, well, what if this, what if that, well, what if he sees some? like, first of all, when you get to a particular age, hopefully, not always, but, I think just from, if you're part of ZT Nation, then Zeta is pretty open that she has lived a life. And from what we've heard when Timmy speaks sometimes, like, in the little subtle hints he gives about his past, these are not two individuals who are lacking for life. They have lived, they have been out there, they have had fun or whichever. And, when you're looking for something more serious or something different. They're both beautiful people who could have and be out there for the streets if they chose. But they're at a different place in their life, and it seems. And I think when you know that together, you can grow effectively together. So we have love, communication, trust, honesty, but also I think, which is equally as important, is making sure when you have long distance relationships, and this goes for romantic friendships, you gotta have something for you. You gotta have something to do. Of course, if I'm sitting around idly waiting for someone, I don't have my own thoughts. I don't have anything. I'm obsessed with this person. It's one thing to love somebody and really enjoy them, but an obsession, you got to have balance. But when you have your own stuff that you're doing, then, which I think that they both show that they're both doing their own thing. One, it makes it better, obviously, for you, but it makes it better for the relationship, because when you do come together, you're both coming with these new skill sets or these things that you've grown. So when you bring it together, then it makes it that much better. But when you have something that you're doing, then you're not spending your time so focused on this person. You're putting and pouring into yourself. And we all know, if you are no good or not healthy, then how could you be anything to anybody else if you're not healthy and whole yourself? So I love that both of them are pouring into themselves. And of course, we only know what we see online, what they choose to share, but it looks like both of them are trying to stay busy and trying to do things. And I think with that, I think they have a very high chance of being successful. And it seems that the lines of communication are fully open and understood. And with Zeta, obviously, her life somewhat before was already like split between the two places. So going in, that expectation was already set. So I absolutely love the transparency. I love the vibes. And, and I definitely wish them success. I know for myself, I can't say that far because, just in Zeta's profession, being an actress, obviously the expectation is hopefully the goal is that you're going to be away sometimes. If you're booking like you want to, then you're going to be on set sometimes. And hopefully, like, Timmy's going to be busy doing what he's doing. But I know my husband, before we went into business for ourselves, his company would have him travel a lot. And I remember he actually joined, he got hired at this company like right before our middle son was born. And oh my goodness, I was terrified because my oldest is my stepson. So we had had him when he was younger for a few years, but then he was back with his mom. And I was just like a new baby. He was so tiny. And I mean, literally, like, it was like born next week. My husband was like, I gotta go. And I'm like, no. And I didn't drive, y'all. I didn't, which I was like, this is between y'all. This is between us, okay? I'm embarrassed to say. But I had no learner's permit, no driver's license, because I lost a friend in a car accident, and he had his mother had died in a car accident. And so I suffered from anxiety, so I was terrified. But my husband was like, look, what are you going to do? You need to do something. You're going to have to be able to get from point A to point B. So literally, like, within a 2-week span, like one weekend, I was getting my learner's permit just to get comfortable with somebody behind the wheel with me. And then the next weekend, it was like, you need to get your license so you can drive by yourself. And so that was the whole experience in itself, but we got it done. And then it was kind of like off to the races, but I did it, and we kept those lines of communication open. So when he would go out of town, just obviously I knew when he was coming back, but setting the expectation of what we both wanted to have, done before he got back, or just keeping those on the communication of even just little special notes like, I'm gonna wait, even if I can't be with you physically, then I'll wake you up in the morning, I'll give you, so those kind of things, just to keep it special. And then there were times where sometimes when it made sense, because I know sometimes people in long distance relationships, we have couples who sometimes overstep their boundaries and will try to like go into the space. Like, especially when someone's working, they might not always need you in their space. And sometimes it can be a hindrance into what that person may want to get done. And we don't want that, because then if they can't go and get what they need to go, what they need to get done, then if the money's funny, then sometimes I might not be able to see you later, or what we're trying to obtain together, we might not be able to get. So understanding that. So there were times, obviously, I could not go, and I was totally fine with that. Again, remembering we have to have things, our own things that we do. But then there were times where, I would go along and we would make a special event out of it. So while he was working during the day and in the office or whatever meetings he needed to take care of, I would do special things with the kids. And then we just enjoy the moment together. And so whatever you do, however you make it look, taking the time, figure out what you want to do, figure out how to keep it special, whether it's a FaceTime call, whether it's Zoom, whatever you do, figuring out how to draw it back together, keep it special, and whatever that looks like for you. Keeping those lines of communication open, keeping honest. If, even if something happens and you're feeling somebody at work, it's like, sometimes when you're not able to have physical touch, and I don't even mean sex, I'm just, sometimes you just want a hug, or sometimes that can get challenging. And I'm not saying that somebody should be out there in the streets, but I'm just saying, like, for whatever reason, if something does arise, then being honest and saying, you know what, I need more. This long distance thing doesn't work for me. Whatever you do, be honest and communicate how you're feeling, what that love language is, because you're going to really have to tap into that love language when you have that distance, because you're not able to, as some people overcompensate with different things, like you're pulling away that crutch kind of. It really, so even though I think a lot of times with distance, people think that, it is so much, I don't want to say harder, because it is harder, but it takes away, like, but I'm over here stuttering, Lord, y'all, I'm telling you, but it makes you closer, because you actually, like I said, you have to pull away that curtain, and you really got to get down into knowing each other. And like what I'm saying, when you're truly walking in truth, not like some BS long distance where I'm doing what I want to do, but where we're really walking in honesty, where we really got to connect. And so it's that layer of where I can't just show up and hug you and kiss you and say a few nice little things that pop up at your doorstep after I've been down in the streets. So it really, really takes away that layer of, like I said, that crutch. And you really have to be honest with yourselves. And so when you take away that and you know that the person's being honest, then it makes it that much more special. And it makes the relationship actually grounded so much more. So it definitely can work. I wish them the best. And I feel good about it. Like, and again, whatever it is, the journey is theirs uniquely together. And so I wish them nothing but the best. We got some beautiful holiday things coming up, guys. So I hope everybody really, truly is being present in the moment and just taking the time to settle, let it in, and enjoy. But you guys, I cannot wait to talk to you later on this week. And of course, I'll be back next week, Zeta Confidential Monday. So make sure you click that button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're part of the ZC Nation family. Hop on over. Y'all know this sickness got me just stuttering, but don't be making fun of me. It's okay, because people got problems. But head over to zetaconfidential.com and make sure you're part of the ZC Nation family. And I look forward to seeing you guys real soon. So check in with you guys later.